Hey, Brandon, thanks for inviting me down to see your latest pump track build.
Oh, yeah, you're more than welcome. Always welcome here.
It's really cool. Now, I've kind of seen some pictures of things, of some of your tracks that you've built. Can you kind of explain a little bit more about who you are as an individual and the company that you work for and what you guys do?
I grew up in central Pennsylvania, kind of the dirt capital of the world back in the 90s, and I was fortunate enough to watch an older generation do all that amazing stuff, and then I just continued on. I always built. I never stopped building, even as an adult, even in my personal space, home. I always had something to ride. And as I got older, so I'm really just a private contractor, and I work for all of the contractors that build, whether that be a skate park, a BMX track, a pump track, or just some one-off ramp for an event like X Games or maybe a world track event. And through the years, I've connected with all of the companies as we all kind of know each other. We're all friends in some way or another, at least have friendly competition.
Yeah.
And I just like to be able to offer that different, let's say, connections to the industry.
Yeah.
Where I can find what the community is looking for. Because sometimes they might not just want a skate park. They might want something a little different.
Sure.
And there's so much to offer in our industry at this point, and just getting better every year.
Do you kind of do like a gap analysis, right? From where are you at, where do you want to be, how do we get there, kind of thing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just kind of listen to the customer and their community, or try to see what we can do.
Wow, that is cool. I love how you individualize a delivery for a community, and that's awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing how that works with, well, how that looks with regard to when we move forward and how we move forward as a community.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I had just glanced, scrolling through the internet, and I had seen something about Lititz wanting to get the pump track, and that is way too close to home. I think just a half an hour.
Well, you
and we're
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we're asphalting up in Coleman Park in Lebanon County next spring. At least that's the plan. We're well on our way on our fundraising, and we have a ton of support and a great spot to do it.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
Hopefully we can just jump on that train, and the people from Lititz can come and see what a pump track actually is, rather than looking at things on the internet and trusting some other people. But they can come and see it for themselves. A half an hour away, hopefully next spring, and see all the good it brings to the community.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm excited to hear that. I didn't know. Now, you kind of mentioned next spring. How long ago did you all start that, I guess, pitch and development process with that community?
Well, it's really been about 5 or 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Trying to talk to the people that are in charge, or
Sure.
the people who needs to hear all this.
Yeah.
Getting them together was very hard, but I think we finally got our first real meetings about a year and a half ago.
Okay.
And it's just every meeting got a little more traction, a little more people was interested, and they attended the next meeting, and now it's a serious thing, and we've got financial backing, and I hope it's going to happen.
I love it.
We're well on our way.
I love it. I've actually already gotten the ear of Senator Martin. I don't know if you're sure who he is, but he's a state senator from Lancaster who used to ride BMX here in Lititz. So that's a positive. I'm going to be speaking with him soon. I'm kind of working on my list of questions. And I'm a little nervous, but, I'll get over that. And then I'm also kind of tagging some people at Fulton Bank, because when I retired from Fulton Bank, and I founded the Veterans Employer Resource Group there. So I'm hoping we can say, hey, remember me, and maybe get Fulton to support this community project in some form or fashion. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that would be great. Any amount of support just goes a long way, especially from a bank.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we'll see. Who knows? I think I'll be picking your brain more about that moving forward. But I guess let's just start with this, if you don't mind. From your definition, fundamentally, can you define what a pump track is?
My personal definition of a pump track is a single lane BMX track. It's really meant for one rider to go around in a lap. They're usually laps, even though they might be hard to see.
Okay.
But to me, it's just as simple as a single lane BMX track.
Okay.
Some of them are better than others, but that, to me, that's the best way to describe it. I grew up racing BMX, and getting out on a pump track just takes me back to the BMX days on the track.
Sure.
But even a better version.
Now, that's your personal opinion, I'm assuming, and that kind of answers a question that I was going to ask, because I was going to ask what your weapon of choice is here, whether that was BMX or mountain bike or, hell, I don't know, an adult balance bike or a scooter or skateboard or what, but you answered that question.
Yep, always on the BMX bike, but I will gladly borrow a little kid's scooter or skateboard or any other weird thing that they might have on their pump track. And that's part of the awesome part of a pump track, because you can have all wheels on it. You should share it with everybody.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, because I know you mentioned in your personal definition BMX, but professionally I've heard that, at least I'm pretty sure that they make some communities make ADA compliant tracks, or at least ADA friendly tracks. Is that something that you can help bring to the community? Because I think that's a big selling factor.
Oh yeah, the ADA compliance, I think there might be 2 or 3 tracks that actually comply to the ADA rules.
Awesome.
Years ago, we were in Port Angeles, Washington.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Aaron Wheels Carter, he was helping with that bill. And representatives from the American Disability Association were there to try to understand how we could all work together to make this work, and help create guidelines as well, figuring things out for them. So technically, there's probably only 2 ADA compliant pump tracks, but there are quite a handful of ADA friendly, I think is the language we want to use.
Fair enough. Would the price difference in trying to elevate that from BMX to ADA friendly to ADA compliant, is there a significant cost increase associated with those steps?
There's not a significant cost increase. It really comes down to the management side of that, and the communication between parties and communication from management to the build. The builders are good. They understand what needs to happen and can generally do that work very easily. But getting the communication from disabled rider, or what do we call that?
Adaptive sports participant? Maybe? Something like that?
No, I think we just did one in Heber City, and they had some very unique bikes. It wasn't for wheelchairs. So the one in Port Angeles is for wheelchair riders. Like, that's not a bike at all. It's a wheelchair.
Oh.
And that's the ADA compliant pump track. It's actually for a wheelchair. It's not for a bike.
Wow. Okay.
Which is even better.
Wow.
And
that is
so
cool.
it was very awesome, and there was a great learning experience.
That's great.
But the adaptive riders.
Yeah.
It's the adaptive riders.
Adaptive riders.
Yes, they have these awesome bikes. They could be 3 wheels or 4 wheels.
Yeah.
Now they have the e-bike versions, and they are just really, really fun to ride.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And building the shapes to get them wheels to roll around is kind of difficult and done by the builders on the ground.
Fair enough. If for just so I can mentally wrap my head around it, because you mentioned 5 or 6 years for the build process previously in the Lebanon community. With regards to Lititz itself, if we were to say, quote unquote, fast track it, right? Or if the Lititz, we walked in on December 30th and they say, hey, we heard your podcast, we love the idea, everybody here is all for it, let's make this happen. When would we honestly be looking at maybe a ribbon cutting ceremony?
Early spring. As soon as the weather clears up and the asphalt plant is open, we can build a track in 1 week. And we could manage and design it, get everything ready, all the management side of it in a few days, and just a couple weeks of a build time, you could be open by early as possible.
Wow. Okay. I didn't realize that
weather
quickly.
pending.
What was that?
Yeah, weather pending.
Weather pending.
Yeah,
Get that.
asphalt can be laid in the cold,
Sure.
and generally plants shut down for the winter. I'm not sure about in central Pennsylvania area. It might be open for the winter. I wouldn't advise doing that in the cold.
So don't do it in the cold. Everything's laid by hand. So, I guess, are there any immediate red flags for project areas that municipalities may be considering, like from maybe geological perspectives or anything?
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Like, okay, so I'm a California transplant, and everything in California requires an environmental study, and very little progress can be made. I'm not bashing California, right? I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just saying a reality is it seems that very little progress can be made because of environmental issues quite often. So in Lititz, as someone who knows this area pretty well, is there anything that you could potentially foresee as being a geographical area? Maybe even like is something as simple, wrong word. I don't know the right word. Maybe we might run into an Indian burial ground site or an excavation issue, or what red flags have you seen in this area that we may run into?
The only red flag that I've seen in our area is water drainage issues and getting a survey on where the water is going to go and what it might potentially do.
Okay.
That's really the biggest thing in our area.
Okay.
I've hit pipes and wires that we've had flagged and they got lost, and so I don't think that's really a geological feature thing, but the only thing I can think of is just the water sheeting. I know generally East Coast builds want to see some sort of water survey.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense. So I appreciate you kind of giving me insight on that side, because I didn't think about that. No, I did think about the drainage a little bit, but the water survey.
Yeah, and that's really up to your local municipalities on how they treat the seriousness of that. Some people in charge might see it as negligible and just give it an okay and not really need a study. And it all depends on where it's going to be at.
Sure, and
Sometimes
there's a lot of
you
places.
just don't need the study.
Yeah, and there's a lot of places that I think would work great here in Lititz for it. I know one of my buddies really wants it at Lititz Springs Park, but you know Lititz as kind of a local resident and a builder. How do you see a pump track doing in Lititz?
Amazing. It'll be constantly full with local population and people from an hour plus away.
I love it.
I travel the country to go ride these things, and I meet many people who do the same.
Yeah, that's awesome. I heard there's like competitions and all that stuff, and those are kind of growing in popularity. So, you know, this could become something that becomes part of a circuit potentially, right?
Oh, yes. This is just the beginning of all the pump track racing, and that's all starting to take shape, and it's a bright future. We're pushing for an Olympic run in, not the next one, but the Olympics have been talked about of getting the pump tracks into the Olympics. So
I love it.
Hopefully we can do it, because it's a UCI sport now, and
love it. You know, speaking of UCI, did you know that the museum owns Felicia Stansel's 2012 UCI time trial and world championship bike with the #1 plate?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, man.
That's awesome. She's fast, man. She's fast. I've got to ride with her on a pump track a couple times.
No way. How was that, if you don't mind sharing a little bit?
Oh, it was great. I was at the first Red Bull Pump Track World Championship in Springdale, Arkansas, and it was one of the best events I've ever been at for BMX.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. That is
all
awesome.
The top pros, or all the top girl pros were there, and it was so fun to try to keep up with them.
I love it. I wouldn't even mad respect. But it was cool because I became kind of an old Powder Puff fan through Kathy Hanna and a few other people, and then I saw this bike and I was like, no, I'm not looking. I'm like, I am looking at what I'm seeing, and I got it, and I was like, I actually rode it in the last ride. We have an old school guy ride at Harrisburg, and I rode it there, and man, that thing rode like butter. I love it. But that is cool. And then I guess so. You kind of mentioned bringing people into the community. You mentioned potential circuit events here. Can you explain, from what you've seen, how pump tracks have helped local businesses, especially local businesses that have supported that track?
Well, definitely the bike shops are going to feel an impact of a pump track.
Yeah.
Sure. But for guys like me who want to travel and take our friends and we're going to go get lunch, we might check out another local attraction. In Lititz, it might be Wilbur Chocolate, you know.
There you go. Might be Wilbur Chocolate. Everybody loves Wilbur, right?
Yeah, Lititz is just such a great spot for the pump track because it does have that tourism side, and it would just be an asset to the tourism.
Absolutely.
Some of these bikes are $10,000 that these guys are bringing to the pump tracks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing what bikes cost now. So
yeah. We do have some very good local bike shops. There is the Lititz Bike Works, but there's also Martin's, there's Green Mountain Cyclery, plenty of shops for people to look around in the area to purchase.
Yeah, I definitely think it would help the shops, and the shops could help the culture.
Yeah.
You know, we could start putting BMX bikes back in the shops for the kids that want to go ride the pump track. And Green Mountain Cyclery, oh man, they did a lot for BMX tracks back in the day. I can remember seeing their jerseys. I think I might even have one.
Your opinion about Green Mountain Cyclery, because I'm learning of them through a buddy, and I'm excited to go and meet Mike. But what do you know about them? I'm curious.
I started racing at 11 years old, and Lebanon Crankers was my home track. And I can remember seeing the Green Mountain jerseys and their team up there whatever day we raced. I think it was a Tuesday.
Okay.
And then maybe a Saturday. And those guys were fast and awesome, friendly, and just nice.
That is
good
great.
Bike. Those guys are awesome. I was just a kid.
Yeah.
Heavily influenced by their niceness. Yeah, I can remember like getting help from them with my bikes, greasing my chain, pumping my tires up, just making sure everything was correct, you know.
Love it.
They didn't have to do that. So.
That is great. So getting ready to close it out, kind of final elevator speech. Why is a pump track a must-have in the Lititz community?
A pump track, it's such a unique attraction that kind of caters to everyone. The parents that bring their children to the pump track, I think just visually sitting there looking at it is pleasant. It looks really neat.
Yeah.
And that's in Lititz, I think that's an important thing. Whereas a skate park can kind of look a little rough or chunky, whereas a pump track just beautiful curves and flow. So
yeah, it
provides a visual statement, but then the health benefits you get from it, the awareness that it creates in you, the sharing that you have to do, that all translates into regular life.
True.
Whether you know it or not, it's happening. It just helps create better people. Then on the surface, it's just an awesome thing to go and ride your bike on, or skateboard, or scooter, or one wheel, or whatever thing you can get on there and have fun.
Heck yeah, I love it.
It caters to so many different groups. Like I said, even the parents sitting there are going to enjoy sitting there looking at this beautiful track.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about pump tracks. They're pleasant on the eyes.
I enjoy the lines, like just looking at the two parallel lines in that asphalt or dirt path that goes between them. It's pretty fun to look at.
Yeah, some of these pump tracks are so beautiful. Sometimes I think, like, if aliens ever come to visit, they're going to look at these pump tracks and be like, whoa, what's this?
Well, you just piqued my interest. You said beautiful, and I was thinking about this. We didn't talk about this, but I think a lot of communities built up benches and flower and gardens and things like that around the pump tracks that beautify those lines even more. Am I right on it, or is that something I'm crazy thinking?
Yes, Yeah, there are so many beautiful pump tracks, and that truly is an investment. I mean, the pump tracks can be pricey themselves, so when you start wanting to make it beautiful, it's an investment, but well worth it. That thing will see magazines and tourism books and bring people from all over to come see that thing.
Yeah, look at that.
Because even non-riders love looking at that. They're like, wow, this is really awesome.
And they're fun to watch people run. You know, and that's awesome. Even if you can't participate, the great thing is that a lot of people in a lot of different types of sports activities can participate. But if you can't, it's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch, especially when the races come into town, and it's good viewing.
Love it. All right, well, hey, I'm gonna let you go. I appreciate you letting me pick your brain for a few. I'm gonna get out of here and let you get back to work. And what you guys are building out here looks really cool. And I'm excited to ride it and ride with you in the future here in Lititz.
Yes, likewise. And in Lebanon, well, twin tracks.
Hurrah, and we can have competitions, right? Lebanon versus Lititz. We're going to smoke you guys.
This sounds, it's on, brother.
Oh, let's do it. All right, man. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You too. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you. Bye-bye.